Chosen one, you've wandered down paths that seem right in your own eyes, paths that seem to promise freedom, fulfillment, and success. But now, as you stand at this moment, you cannot ignore the truth any longer. The weight of those decisions is heavy upon you. You've made choices perhaps out of fear, perhaps out of impatience, or maybe out of your own understanding of what was best for you. But these decisions, whether in relationships, finances, career, or the direction of your life, have brought you far from where you are truly meant to be. You feel it in your soul and your heart. The peace you once sought remains elusive, and instead there's a lingering sense of regret, confusion, and a growing realization that something is not right. You may try to push it down to ignore it, or perhaps to justify it with the idea that you are doing the best you can, that you're only human. But deep inside, you know something more is required from you. You know, chosen one, that these wrong decisions, however well-intentioned, are eroding your future. They are not leading you to the destiny God has already prepared for you. And that weight, that quiet but persistent burden, is growing because you know the truth. You are living outside the divine purpose for your life. But do not despair, for this is not the end. This is simply a moment of awakening, a moment where you can choose to redirect your course. Your story is not defined by the wrong turns you've taken, nor is it sealed by past mistakes. The past is gone, and what matters now is the decision you make today. There is still time, chosen one. You still have the opportunity to align yourself with the will of God, to step into the purpose He has designed for you. You may feel as if your mistakes are too great to overcome, but this is where the grace of God enters. No matter how far you feel from your divine calling, you are never too far for God to reach you. The weight of your wrong decisions, while real, does not have to define your future. Let that sink in for a moment. The choices you've made, the mistakes you've carried, are not the end of the story. They are not the final word over your life. God's word, His will, and His purpose for you are greater than any mistakes you've made. His grace is abundant, and His calling on your life is still intact. This is the moment, chosen one, to stop carrying the weight of your wrong decisions. This is the moment to let go of the guilt, the shame, the regret, and begin to walk in alignment with the divine plan that has always been yours. You've allowed yourself to veer off course to follow desires that did not align with the purpose God set for you, and perhaps it has felt like a journey of missteps and disappointment. But now you are at a crossroads. You stand at the threshold of something greater than yourself, greater than your past mistakes. And though you may feel burdened by what's behind you, know that you are not defined by your failures or your wrong choices. You are defined by the calling God has placed on your life. Take a moment to breathe deeply. With every breath, let go of the weight you've carried for so long. The burden of wrong decisions, those choices that now seem so clear in their misdirection, can be lifted. You are not meant to walk this journey alone, carrying the heavy load of regret. Surrender it now. Surrender the weight of your past decisions to the hands of God and allow Him to help you set your feet back on the right path. God's will for your life is not conditional upon your perfection, your past, or your mistakes. No, His will is sovereign, and His purpose for you remains unshaken. What you have walked through, what you have endured, has been part of your story, but it is not your story's end. The divine plan that has always been in place is still unfolding before you, and it is never too late to realign with it. Feel that deep within your heart, chosen one. No matter how far you think you've strayed, you have the opportunity right now to make the choice that will set your future back on course. You have the power to realign your decisions with God's will. It will take faith, yes. It will take humility, trust, and a willingness to let go of your own understanding. But if you are ready, if you are willing to listen, you can begin the process of walking in alignment with God's divine plan. Perhaps the weight of your decisions feels overwhelming. You may feel as though you've lost your way, that you've made too many mistakes to be restored. But here's the truth, chosen one, no decision you've made is beyond redemption. No mistake is too great to be corrected by the hand of God. He does not look at you with disdain, nor does he turn away. He sees you exactly as you are broken, lost, but still beloved. And he is calling you home back into his will, back into the path of your true destiny. As you sit here today, wherever you may be, there is an opportunity before you. There is a divine invitation to come back to seek God's guidance and to realign your life with his will. It is time to stop carrying the weight of wrong decisions, to stop trying to fix everything on your own. It is time to lay it all down at his feet and trust that he will guide you into something far greater than anything you could have imagined on your own. God has a plan for you, chosen one. His purpose for your life is far beyond what you can see right now. And no matter what path you've walked until this point, the future is still open. The future is still waiting for you to step into it with confidence, faith, and alignment with his divine will. The first step is to acknowledge where you've gone wrong, to recognize that the choices you've made were not aligned with God's will. This recognition is not meant to bring shame or guilt. It is simply an invitation to acknowledge the truth and begin to realign your steps. There is no condemnation here, only the loving invitation of God to return to him. You are still his chosen one, and he is waiting for you to align yourself with his purpose, his plan, and his will. No decision is ever too far gone for God's grace. It is time to let go of the weight you've been carrying. The path is before you, and God is calling you to walk it with him. Chosen one, the call to realign with God's will is not a passive request. It is a summons, a divine invitation to return to your rightful path. It's a call that resonates deep within your soul, stirring something within you that longs for restoration. It may have been easy to ignore or dismiss in the past, but now there is no escaping it. The heaviness of your choices, the weight of the decisions you've made that led you away from God's plan, are pushing you to hear this call more clearly than ever before. You may find yourself at a crossroads. Your heart aches with regret, and your mind is filled with doubts. Can I truly change? Can I undo the damage of my past? These thoughts swirl, threatening to keep you trapped in your mistakes. But hear this clearly: God is not here to condemn you. He is not standing at a distance, watching your failures with disappointment. He is calling you closer, beckoning you to align with his will, to walk once again in the fullness of your purpose. This is not about condemnation. It is about redemption. It is about the chance to start anew, to realign yourself with the destiny he has always intended for you. You may not feel worthy of this grace. You may feel as though your past mistakes have disqualified you from God's divine plan. But the truth is, chosen one, God's will for your life was never based on your perfection. It was always based on his love, his grace, his sovereignty, and his love for you has never wavered. You are never too far gone. His calling is constant. His invitation to align with him is always open. No matter how far you've strayed, no matter how many wrong turns you've taken, he is always ready to guide you back. The first step in answering this call is acknowledging where you've gone astray. This is not about beating yourself up or feeling guilty. It's about being honest with yourself and with God. You are his child, chosen from the beginning of time, and he wants you to live the life you were created for. But living in alignment with his will requires transparency, humility, and an openness to change. It's not about perfection, but about surrender. It may feel overwhelming to think of surrendering your will to God's, especially when your own desires, plans, and ambitions have taken precedence for so long. The world tells you to pursue your own dreams, to take control, to carve your own path. But God's will is different. It is higher, deeper, and far more fulfilling than anything you could achieve on your own. The path that leads to true peace and purpose is the one that aligns with his plan for you. Aligning with God's will is not always easy, chosen one. The journey back to him requires courage. It requires the willingness to let go of the desires, the plans, and even the comforts that have kept you off course. You've grown accustomed to certain ways of thinking, acting, and living. But true transformation comes when you are willing to lay those things down and trust God to lead you in a direction that may seem unfamiliar, but will ultimately bring you closer to the person you were always meant to be. This is where the struggle lies, the battle between your own desires and the will of God. It's a fight that's familiar to many. You feel pulled in different directions, pulled between what you want and what you know God is asking of you. It's a challenge to trust that God's plan is better than your own. But this is the very heart of realignment, the recognition that God's will is perfect even when it doesn't make sense in the moment. Imagine for a moment how much more fulfilling your life could be if you surrendered fully to God's will. Picture a life free from the weight of wrong decisions, a life where you are no longer struggling to find peace in your own strength, but resting in the peace that comes from walking in His divine purpose. This peace is available to you, chosen one, but it requires surrender. It requires you to trust that God knows what is best for you even when you can't see the full picture. The surrender I speak of is not a one-time event. It is a daily choice. It is a continual act of aligning your thoughts, your actions, and your heart with the will of God. It is not a matter of striving or forcing your way into His plan. It is about surrendering your own plans and allowing Him to guide you. This is where the true freedom lies. When you align yourself with God's will, you no longer have to carry the burden of figuring everything out on your own. You no longer have to shoulder the weight of making the right decisions in your own strength. You surrender your will to God, and He carries you forward, guiding your steps along the path He has laid out for you. You may not always understand why things unfold the way they do, chosen one. There may be moments of confusion, frustration, or doubt. But in those moments, remember this: God's plan for you is always good. His will for your life is always perfect. And no matter how difficult the road may seem, He is with you every step of the way, leading you back to the place of peace, purpose, and fulfillment. God does not want you to walk this journey alone. He is not asking you to navigate the twists and turns of life in your own strength. He is inviting you to come to Him, to surrender to His will, and to trust that He will guide you. And when you make that choice, when you take that step of surrender, He will open doors you could never have imagined. He will make a way where there seems to be no way, and He will bring you into the fullness of the life He has always intended for you. So, chosen one, the invitation is before you. Will you accept it? Will you surrender your own will to God's, knowing that His plan is better than anything you could design on your own? Will you trust that the way forward, though it may require courage and faith, will bring you closer to the life you were created for? This is the beginning of your transformation. The moment you decide to align with God's will, the moment you choose to surrender, is the moment your life begins to change. This is not the end of the journey. It is the beginning of something far greater than you can imagine. Chosen one, the struggle within you is real. As you wrestle with the choice to realign with God's will, you may feel torn between your own desires and what you know in your heart to be the right path. The tug of war between your will and God's will is not uncommon. It's something that every person who seeks to live a life aligned with the divine faces. And it is in this struggle that you are called to grow, to evolve, and to deepen your faith. You may ask yourself, why is this so hard? Why does it feel like a constant battle to align with God's will? The answer is simple. Your desires and God's purpose for you often don't align with what you see or want in the moment. The enemy seeks to confuse you, to make you believe that your way is better, that your plans are more suitable. But this is the deception that keeps you bound, keeping you from walking in the fullness of the destiny God has designed for you. The pull of your own desires, your own dreams, and your own ideas can feel so strong. But the truth is that God's will is always better. It may not always make sense in the moment, and it may even feel uncomfortable or uncertain, but rest assured it is the path to your true fulfillment, peace, and purpose. This is the essence of the internal struggle, the battle between what you want and what God knows is best for you. You may not always understand it. You may question why certain doors are closed or why certain opportunities haven't come to fruition. But in those moments of doubt, trust this: God's plan is always perfect and His timing is always right. His ways are higher than your ways, and His understanding surpasses your own. What He is calling you to, chosen one, is always for your good. It's important to remember that the struggles you face are not signs of failure. They are opportunities for growth. Every time you feel the pull between your own desires and God's purpose, you are being invited to surrender a little more, to trust a little deeper. This is how your faith strengthens, how your relationship with God deepens, and how your understanding of His will for your life becomes clearer. The enemy will try to use your doubts, your fears, and your confusion to keep you from taking the next step. It will whisper, maybe you've made too many mistakes. Maybe you're too far off the path to ever return to God's will. But do not listen. This is the voice of deception. This is not the truth. The truth is that God's love for you is unshakable, and His purpose for your life remains steadfast, no matter how many wrong decisions you've made. He is faithful to complete the good work He has started in you. In this battle, the key is surrender. Surrender does not mean giving up or giving in. It means yielding to the one who knows what's best for you. It means choosing trust over fear, faith over doubt, and obedience over your own understanding. Surrendering to God's will is the highest act of faith you can take. It's a choice to release control over your life and trust that God, in His infinite wisdom, will lead you where you are meant to go. Feel that deep within you, chosen one. Surrender does not mean weakness. It means strength. It is in surrendering to God that you gain the greatest freedom. You are no longer bound by your own understanding, your own limited perspective. You are free to walk in the path He has set before you. And as you surrender your will to God's, you will find that your struggles begin to ease. The internal battle will begin to quiet as the peace of alignment with God's will fills your soul. This struggle is real, yes, but it is not meant to defeat you. It is meant to refine you, to make you stronger in your faith, and to help you develop a deeper trust in God's perfect plan. When you choose to align with God's will, you are choosing to walk in the fullness of the life He has always intended for you. It may not always be easy, but it will always be worth it. God understands your struggle. He knows the desires of your heart, and He knows what it takes to get you back on the right path. This struggle is not something you face alone. God is right there with you every step of the way, strengthening you, guiding you, and gently leading you back to the place of peace and alignment. Now, as you face this internal battle, I urge you to ask yourself, what is it that I am truly longing for? What am I searching for in my own desires? These questions can help you recognize the deeper motivations of your heart. Often our desires stem from a deep longing for love, acceptance, or security. But these things, when sought outside of God's will, can lead to disappointment and emptiness. True fulfillment is found when your desires align with God's purpose for you. When you surrender your will to His, you find that He fulfills every longing of your heart in ways you never imagined. So, chosen one, do not fear the struggle. Embrace it. It is through this very struggle that you will grow, and it is through surrender that you will find true peace. Remember that every choice you make toward God's will is a step closer to the life of purpose, fulfillment, and peace that He has always designed for you. The journey to alignment with God's will is not about perfection, it is about trust. It's about the decision to let go of your own understanding and allow God to lead you. It is about walking in faith even when the path ahead is unclear. And as you take these steps, you will see the beautiful unfolding of God's plan for your life. He has already prepared the way for you. Your role is simply to trust and surrender to His guidance. Chosen one, the ripple effect of your decisions is more powerful than you may realize. Every choice you make, whether big or small, sends waves throughout your life, affecting not only your own future, but the futures of those around you as well. You may feel as though your decisions are private, personal choices, but the truth is that everything you do has an impact. It shapes your destiny and the destiny of others, often in ways you don't immediately see. When you make choices that are misaligned with God's will, the consequences extend far beyond just yourself. You may not realize it, but your actions influence your family, your friends, your community, and even your purpose in the kingdom of God. You may feel isolated in your struggle, but the truth is that you are part of a much larger picture. Every step you take in the wrong direction affects the course of your journey and the journey of those who are intertwined with yours. This is not meant to make you feel burdened or hopeless, chosen one. Rather, it's a reminder of the incredible responsibility and beauty of your life. God has designed you for a unique purpose, one that is deeply connected to the lives of others. When you step into alignment with His will, not only do you experience the fullness of His blessings, but you also help to fulfill His greater plan for the world. Your choices can be a source of light, of healing, and of divine transformation for those around you. But when your decisions veer away from His will, the ripple effects can carry pain, confusion, and disruption. Imagine for a moment the power of a life lived in perfect alignment with God's will. Every choice you make, every action you take is directed by divine wisdom. Your decisions lead to peace not only for yourself, but for those around you. When you align with God, your life becomes a beacon, a guiding light for others who are also searching for their way. The ripple effect of your alignment creates positive change that touches everything in its path, just as a stone thrown into a still pond creates ripples that expand outward, affecting everything it touches. But when you step out of alignment with God's will, the opposite happens. The ripple effect creates confusion, pain, and uncertainty. Your missteps lead to consequences that reach beyond your own experience, and those around you may unknowingly carry the burden of your choices. This is why the internal battle you face is so important. It's not just about you. Your decisions have far-reaching consequences, and God is calling you to take responsibility for your choices. He is not asking you to be perfect, but to be faithful, to trust His plan for your life, and to align yourself with it. You may be thinking, but I'm only human. I make mistakes. I don't always know what God wants me to do. And yes, this is true. We are all human and we all make mistakes. But the difference lies in how we respond to those mistakes. When you choose to align yourself with God's will, when you choose to make decisions based on His guidance, you open yourself to His grace. You no longer carry the weight of misaligned choices alone. When you turn back to God, He redeems the situation. He transforms what was meant for harm into something that will bring you closer to your divine purpose. The ripple effect of your choices can also be felt in your relationship with God. When you make decisions outside of His will, your connection to Him may feel distant. You may struggle to hear His voice clearly, to sense His presence, and to feel His peace. But the moment you choose to realign with His will, the flow of His divine presence is restored. The Holy Spirit moves freely within you, guiding you, comforting you, and empowering you to walk the path God has set before you. The ripple effect of this alignment is not just seen in your external circumstances, but in your inner peace, joy, and fulfillment. But the struggle is real, isn't it? The desire to hold on to your own plans, your own understanding, can be overwhelming. You spent years building a life based on your own decisions, your own will. It's difficult to let go of the familiar, even if it is not the path that God has intended for you. But the beauty of God's will is that it's always greater than what we could ever imagine on our own. His plans for you are more fulfilling, more purposeful, and more peaceful than any plan you could have devised for yourself. The ripple effect of living in alignment with Him brings a sense of purpose and joy that cannot be found in your own striving. God knows what is best for you, chosen one. His heart is for you, not against you. His plan is full of grace, mercy, and love. But the choices you make determine how closely you walk with Him. When you decide to follow His will, you open the door to His blessings. His peace, and His divine purpose. You align your life with the very creator of the universe, and as a result, your decisions begin to reflect His love, His wisdom, and His grace. You may feel as though the ripple effects of your past choices are too great to undo, but I want you to hear this truth clearly. It is never too late to realign with God's will. The past is gone. What matters is the decision you make today and the steps you take toward realigning your heart, mind, and actions with God's divine purpose for you. His grace covers you, and His redemptive power is greater than anything you've done wrong. Now, as you stand at this crossroads, you have the opportunity to make a choice. You can continue down the path that leads to more confusion and heartache, or you can choose to realign yourself with God's will. The ripple effects of your decision are profound, not only for you, but for those around you. When you choose to walk in alignment with God, you set in motion a powerful wave of divine transformation, not just for your life, but for the lives of everyone you encounter. The path of realignment with God's will may seem uncertain at times, and there may be moments when you feel as though you've made too many mistakes to be restored. But remember this: God's grace is greater than your failures. His love is more powerful than your regrets. When you realign with His will, He will use the ripple effects of your choices to bring healing, restoration, and peace not only to your life, but to the lives of others as well. Chosen one, as you stand at the crossroads of realignment, you may feel the weight of your past decisions pressing on you. But remember this: God's calling is a call to transformation, to leave behind the burdens of your mistakes, regrets, and poor choices. It's an invitation to step into something greater, a life that aligns with His divine will, a life full of purpose, peace, and fulfillment. Releasing the past is one of the most significant steps in your journey toward realignment. You cannot move forward into the fullness of God's plan for your life if you are constantly carrying the weight of what's behind you. Whether it's past mistakes, relationships that went wrong, or missed opportunities, holding on to the past can be like a chain around your ankles, holding you back from walking freely in God's grace. But God is not asking you to forget the past. He's asking you to surrender it. Let go of the pain, the guilt, and the shame. Surrender your regrets to Him. He's not condemning you for what you've done. He's offering you forgiveness, healing, and a fresh start. It's time, chosen one, to accept the truth that God has already forgiven you. The moment you bring your past before Him, He covers it with His grace, and He lets you walk forward in newness of life. It's not an easy process, though. Letting go of the past, whether it's emotional baggage, old patterns, or relationships that didn't serve you, requires vulnerability and trust. You must believe that God's plan is better than your own, even when the past seems to have a firm grip on your heart. You may struggle with feelings of unworthiness, with the nagging belief that you're too broken to be restored, but this is a lie. God specializes in making broken things whole. What you may see as a past full of mistakes, God sees as a story of redemption waiting to unfold. Feel the weight of the burden lifting off your shoulders as you surrender your past. It's not that your history doesn't matter. Rather, it's that God has a future for you that is far greater than anything behind you. When you let go of the mistakes and the regrets, you open yourself to experience His love, healing, and restoration in ways you never thought possible. Releasing the past does not mean that you forget the lessons it taught you. Far from it. Every decision you've made, every struggle you've faced, and every hardship you've endured has shaped you and helped you grow. But what God is asking you to release is the emotional weight, the feelings of guilt, shame, bitterness, or regret. He is inviting you to lay those at His feet and trust that He will use them for your good and for His glory. Do you trust Him enough, chosen one, to let go of the past and move forward into the future He has prepared for you? This is the moment when true healing begins. This is when you break free from the chains of your past choices, your failures, your regrets, and embrace the fullness of the new life God has for you. It's time to surrender your brokenness, your mistakes, and your doubts to God. knowing that He has already forgiven you and is ready to transform your story into one of purpose, hope, and divine destiny. The enemy will try to keep you looking back, telling you that your past disqualifies you from the future God has planned for you. It will whisper lies, trying to convince you that you're too far gone, that you cannot be restored. But this is not the truth, chosen one. The truth is that God's grace is greater than any mistake you've made. His mercy is sufficient for you, and His plan for your life is far more beautiful than you can imagine. When you surrender the past, you are making space for God to fill you with new hope, new vision, and a new purpose. You're inviting Him to renew your mind, to transform your heart, and to align your life with His divine will. This is where true freedom lies, in surrender. It is in letting go of your own plans and trusting that God's way is better. The more you surrender, the more you step into the fullness of your calling, the life you were meant to live, and the joy that comes from walking with Him. Every time you feel the pull of the past trying to hold you back, remind yourself of this truth: you are forgiven, you are loved, and you are being transformed. You are not defined by your past mistakes or by the decisions you made apart from God's will. You are defined by His grace, by His love, and by His purpose for your life. And that is the foundation upon which you can build your future. In moments of doubt, in times when the enemy whispers that you're not worthy, come back to this truth: God is with you, chosen one. His love is relentless, His grace is sufficient, and His purpose for you is unshakable. As you surrender your past and trust in His plan, you will experience the freedom and peace that come with walking in alignment with His will. Let the past go, chosen one. Trust that God is using every part of your story for His good, even the difficult chapters. He will bring beauty from the ashes. He will restore what has been broken. And He will lead you into a future full of hope, purpose, and divine alignment. Take a deep breath and feel the peace that comes with surrender. Feel the chains of the past falling away as you choose to let go and trust in the grace of God. As you do know that you are stepping into a new season of transformation, one that is filled with new opportunities, fresh beginnings, and the fullness of the life God has always planned for you. The past is behind you. The future is waiting. And as you move forward, you walk in God's will, aligned with His purpose and surrounded by His love. Chosen one, surrendering to God's will is not a passive act. It is not simply a matter of waiting for divine intervention. It is an active choice. It requires your participation. It requires the courage to let go of the familiar, to trust in the unseen, and to follow God even when the path ahead is unclear. But this is where true peace and purpose lie, in the surrender to God's plan and yielding your own will to His greater wisdom. As you stand on the threshold of this new alignment, you may feel an overwhelming sense of both peace and fear. Peace because you are beginning to walk in the fullness of God's will for your life. Fear because letting go of control of what feels familiar is never easy. But it is in this very tension between peace and fear that transformation takes place. It is here in the midst of your willingness to surrender that God does His most profound work. Understand this: surrender is not about giving up. It is about giving over. You are not abandoning your dreams, your goals, or your life. You are entrusting them to the one who knows the way better than you do. You are releasing control, not of your future, but of the method, timing, and the steps it will take to get there. This is the divine paradox: when you release control, you gain true freedom. In a world that demands constant striving effort and self-reliance, surrendering to God's will is an act of radical faith. It's saying, God, I trust you with my life. I trust that your plans are better than my own. I trust that you will lead me in the direction that is best, even if I can't see it right now. This is the surrender that unlocks the abundant life God has promised for you. The more you release your will to God, the more He can work in and through you. Surrendering is not an act of weakness, chosen one. It is an act of strength. It is an acknowledgement that you are not in control, but that the one who holds the universe in his hands is. When you let go and allow God to take the lead, you step into the divine flow of his will. And it is in this flow that you will find true peace. You will no longer be burdened by the weight of striving, by the fear of failure, or by the pressure to be perfect. Instead, you will be empowered by the Spirit of God, guided step by step toward the life that was always meant for you. This surrender requires an ongoing daily commitment. It's not a one-time decision, but a choice you must make each and every day. You will face moments when the temptation to take control again will arise. You will feel the urge to hold on to the reins of your life, to take matters into your own hands. But in those moments, pause and remember, God's ways are higher than your ways. His plan is better than any plan you could come up with on your own. The key is to trust, to rest in the knowledge that God knows exactly what he is doing. The more you surrender to God's will, the more you will feel his peace, his presence, and his direction. When you are aligned with God's plan, your steps will be ordered. You will not be tossed to and fro by the winds of uncertainty, but you will walk in confidence, knowing that you are following the path God has laid before you. This is not a path of perfection or ease, but a path of purpose, a path that leads you to becoming the person you were always meant to be. It's important to acknowledge that surrender is not always easy. There will be times when your emotions, your desires, and your fears will try to pull you away from this place of trust. But in those moments, remember that God is with you and he is for you. He is walking with you on this journey of realignment, strengthening you, guiding you, and showing you the way. Every time you choose surrender, you are inviting him to take the lead, to show you what true fulfillment looks like. You may still have questions, still have doubts, still wonder if you are truly on the right path. But trust, chosen one, that God's plan for your life is always unfolding and his timing is perfect. Even when you cannot see the full picture, even when the next step is unclear, he is working behind the scenes. You can trust that everything is unfolding according to his divine purpose. Surrendering is also about letting go of fear, the fear of failure, the fear of the unknown, the fear that you may not be enough. God has not given you a spirit of fear, but of power, love, and a sound mind. You do not have to be afraid of what lies ahead. When you surrender to God, you are surrendering to the one who loves you unconditionally, the one who knows the plans he has for you, the plans to prosper you, not to harm you. He is trustworthy and he is faithful. Now, as you continue to surrender your life to God's will, you will notice a shift within you. The peace you experience is not the absence of challenges, but the assurance that no matter what comes, God is in control. You will begin to walk with more confidence, more purpose, and more joy, knowing that your life is in his hands. When you align with God's will, you are no longer alone in your struggles. He is with you, empowering you, guiding you, and filling you with his spirit. There will still be moments of difficulty, of uncertainty, of doubt. But in those moments, remember that surrender is not about having all the answers. It's about trusting the one who does. Trust that he is leading you step by step, and trust that every step, no matter how small, is moving you closer to the life he has for you. Surrender, chosen one, and find the freedom that comes with knowing that you are walking in God's will. Find peace in the trust that he is leading you, and know that every moment of surrender brings you closer to the fullness of your divine purpose. So today, choose to surrender. Let go of your fears, your doubts, and your need for control. Open your heart to God's perfect plan for you. Trust in his guidance and allow him to lead you into the life he has always wanted for you. Chosen one, as you continue this journey of surrender, realignment, and trust in God's will, you are now stepping into a season of transformation. You are not merely walking in obedience to a set of divine commands. You are stepping into your true calling, the purpose you were created for. This is the next phase of your life, stepping into God's will with courage, faith, and an open heart. It's a bold step, but it's one that will lead you into a life of fulfillment, purpose, and divine alignment. The truth is, you were made for this. The path you are about to walk is the one you were always intended to follow. Every step you take in alignment with God's will is a step closer to the person you were always meant to be. It may not always feel easy. There may still be moments of uncertainty or doubt. But chosen one, know that you are never walking alone. God is leading you, guiding you, and empowering you to fulfill His purpose for your life. And as you step into that purpose, you will see the transformation in your life, transformation in your heart, your mind, your relationships, and your circumstances. Stepping into God's will is not about perfection. It is about obedience. It is about listening for His voice, following His lead, and trusting that His plan for your life is good, no matter how difficult the journey may seem. Your step of faith, no matter how small or imperfect, is what opens the door to the transformation that God has for you. In this step, you are asked to trust in His timing. You may feel the pressure to hurry, to make things happen on your own, to force things to work out the way you want them to. But chosen one, true transformation happens when you align with God's timing, not your own. God's timing is perfect. He knows what is best for you, and He knows exactly when it's the right moment for each part of His plan to unfold. You do not need to rush. You need to trust. The pace at which God leads you is the pace that will bring you the most peace, the most clarity, and the most fulfillment. As you step into God's will, you are also stepping into a deeper understanding of your own identity. For so long, you may have defined yourself by your past decisions, your failures, your successes, or what others have said about you. But God is calling you to see yourself as He sees you, as His beloved child, created for a purpose filled with divine potential. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are not defined by the opinions of others. You are defined by the truth of who God says you are. And as you step into His will, you will come to understand more fully who you are in Him. This process of stepping into God's will involves surrendering your personal plans and desires. And that's not always easy. There may be times when you feel like you're giving up on your dreams, but this is a lie from the enemy. What you're actually doing is surrendering your limited vision for something far greater than you could have imagined on your own. God's plan for you is not only better, it is bigger. It's more fulfilling. It's more powerful. It's more beautiful. And as you step into it, you will realize that everything you thought you wanted pales in comparison to the life that God has prepared for you. It's also important to remember that this process of transformation is not always linear. There will be seasons of growth, and there will be seasons of waiting. There will be moments when the way forward seems unclear, and you may wonder if you are truly on the right path. But remember this, your journey is not about having everything figured out. It is about trusting in God with every step you take. Even when the road ahead is not fully visible, trust that God sees it all. He knows the path you are meant to walk, and He will guide you every step of the way. You may also find that as you step into God's will, certain relationships, activities, and habits begin to shift. Some people in your life may not understand the changes you're making, or they may resist the transformation God is working in you. But chosen one, this is a necessary part of the journey. As you align more closely with God's will, you will begin to attract relationships and opportunities that are in line with His purpose for your life. Some relationships may fall away, but this is not something to fear. Trust that God is clearing the way for what He has prepared for you. He is preparing you for something greater, and you will begin to see His plan unfold in ways that are beyond what you could have imagined. Stepping into God's will also means embracing the call to serve. It's easy to focus on what you want or need, but God's will always involves serving others. It's about using your gifts, your experiences, and your heart to bless those around you. When you align with God's will, you are stepping into a life of service, of pouring out what He has poured into you. You will begin to see that your life is not just about you, it is about how God can use you to impact the world for His glory. You may still feel unsure at times. You may wonder if you're doing enough or if you're truly on the right path. But rest assured, chosen one, that as long as you are trusting in God, as long as you are seeking to align with His will, you are walking in the right direction. The important thing is not your ability to achieve perfection. It is your willingness to trust Him, to surrender your own plans, and to step forward in faith even when the way ahead is not fully clear. Remember that God is with you every step of the way. His presence is your guide. His Spirit empowers you, and His love is unwavering. You are not alone in this journey. As you step into God's will, you are walking in the footsteps of the one who created you, the one who knows you better than you know yourself, the one who has been with you through every season of your life. And so, chosen one, take that step. Step boldly, step faithfully, step with trust, knowing that the road ahead will lead you to a life of fulfillment, peace, and purpose. You are stepping into your true calling, and as you do, you will experience transformation on every level, spiritually, emotionally, and physically. God has greater things ahead for you than you could have ever imagined, and He is inviting you to take the first step today. Chosen one, as you walk in alignment with God's will, the transformation that has been taking place within you begins to unfold in beautiful ways. The journey you've embarked upon is not a destination. It's a continual process of growth, deepening faith, and stepping more fully into your purpose. But there comes a moment in every life when you begin to experience the fullness of God's calling in a way that fills you with peace, purpose, and divine assurance. This is that moment for you. It's easy to get caught up in the future, in what's next, in what needs to be done. But right now, chosen one, I want you to take a moment and reflect on how far you've come. You are not the same person you were when you first started this journey. You have faced struggles, made difficult choices, and experienced growth in ways that are sometimes hard to measure. But look at where you are now. You are standing in the fullness of God's love, surrounded by His grace, and walking confidently in the path He has set before you. This is the moment to embrace the peace that comes from knowing you are walking in alignment with God's will. It is a peace that transcends understanding. It is the deep, unshakable assurance that no matter what the world throws at you, you are where you need to be doing what you were created to do. This peace isn't fleeting. It doesn't disappear when things get tough or when uncertainty arises. This peace is rooted in the trust that God is in control, that His plan for your life is perfect, and that nothing will separate you from His love. You have stepped into a new season, chosen one, a season where you no longer need to strive or worry. The heaviness of the struggle is lifting, and you are moving forward with a sense of divine purpose and clarity. The confusion and uncertainty that once clouded your path are fading away, and you are beginning to see more clearly the beautiful life that God is unfolding for you. But as you embrace this peace, it's important to recognize that this is not the end of the journey. It's not a place where you sit back and do nothing. No, this peace is the foundation for the next phase of your transformation. It's a call to action, to continue walking in God's will, to continue serving, to continue growing. But now you do so with the confidence that you are equipped for the task ahead. You no longer walk in uncertainty or fear. You walk in the strength of God's presence, in the assurance that you are exactly where you are meant to be. The world will still present challenges. You will still face obstacles, doubts, and fears. But now you have the peace of knowing that these challenges are not there to derail you. They are there to strengthen you, to help you grow, and to deepen your faith. The peace you experience now is not a peace of escape. It is a peace that enables you to face every challenge with a heart full of trust in God's provision. As you move forward, chosen one, you will also begin to see the ripple effects of your alignment with God's will. The choices you make, the actions you take, and the love you show will begin to affect those around you in ways that are both seen and unseen. You are a vessel of divine transformation, and as you walk in God's will, you become a beacon of light for those who are still searching for their way. Your life is now a testimony to the power of surrender, to the beauty of trusting in God's plan, and to the joy of walking in alignment with your true purpose. The people around you will notice the peace, the joy, and the strength you now carry. They will see in you a light that they cannot ignore, a light that points them back to the love and grace of God. This is the beauty of walking in God's will. You don't have to force your light to shine. It shines naturally when you are walking in His purpose. Your transformation is not only for you, it is for the world around you. God is using your life, your journey, and your choices to bring healing, hope, and restoration to others. You are not walking this path for yourself alone. You are walking it for His glory and for the fulfillment of His plan for this world. Every time you choose to align with His will, you are playing a part in the divine restoration that is taking place on a much larger scale. And as you move forward in this divine purpose, there will be seasons of abundance and seasons of pruning. There will be moments when everything falls into place and moments when you will have to trust that God is working behind the scenes. But in all of it, know this: He is with you. He has always been with you. And as you walk in alignment with Him, you are becoming more and more the person He created you to be. The person who will do great things for His kingdom. Embrace the peace that comes with being aligned with God's will. Rest in the assurance that His plan is unfolding in perfect timing, even when the path ahead is not fully clear. Trust that every step you take is moving you closer to your true purpose. You are walking the path that was set before you before the foundations of the world, and every moment of surrender, every moment of obedience brings you closer to the life of purpose, peace, and fulfillment that God has always had for you. Now take a deep breath and let the peace of God fill you completely. Feel the weight of fear and doubt lifting as you embrace the divine plan He has for you. The future is bright and your path is clear. You are walking in God's will, and that is the only place of true peace. This is just the beginning, chosen one. The life you were meant to live is unfolding right before your eyes. Keep walking in faith, keep trusting in His plan, and keep shining your light. You are exactly where you need to be, and everything ahead is part of the beautiful story God is writing with your life.